JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now onto the news. 14 guns and over 50 rounds of ammo seized, man arrested and another being sought. The police are searching for a man as they probe the seizure of 14 guns and over 50 rounds of ammunition on Deeside Avenue in St Andrew. The police say another man was taken into custody during the operation, which was conducted on Wednesday. Reports are that at 7:40 p.m., personnel from the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division conducted an intelligence and operation at the premises, which resulted in the seizure of 14 guns, which include 2 rifles and 12 handguns, 12 magazines, and 57 rounds of ammunition. One man was taken into custody, however, his identity has been withheld pending further investigations. In addition, the division is actively searching for another suspect who evaded the police. Fatal police shooting in St Katherine. A man was fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police in St Katherine early this morning. They say 2 guns were seized. The incident happened shortly after midnight. According to the police, cops went to intercept a car with men aboard at the Caymanas entrance to the North-South Highway, and a shootout ensued. One man was fatally wounded and the other man escaped. The police say guns and cell phones belonging to the men were seized at the scene. The incident is being probed by the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. St. Elizabeth Police probing death of man in Good Hope. The Santa Cruz Police in St. Elizabeth are investigating the death of a man in Good Hope. The deceased has been identified as 34-year-old laborer Antonio Roden, otherwise called Prezi. It is reported that Roden disregarded warnings from persons and jumped into a 10-foot deep water tank. He is subsequently drowned. The matter was reported to the Santa Cruz Police, which have launched a probe. Over 800 pounds of ganja seized in Tollgate, Clarendon. A St. Elizabeth man remains in police custody in connection with the seizure of over 800 pounds of ganja in Tollgate, Clarendon. He is being held on suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. His name is being withheld as the investigation is ongoing. According to reports, about 11:20 a.m. on Thursday, May 29, police narcotics personnel were in the area and carried out a mobile patrol search during which the ganja was discovered. Another escapee from Bernardet Street police lockup recaptured. Another escapee from the Bernardet Street police lockup in St. James's behind bars, Maurice Belnavis, a 42-year-old fisherman of Great Pond in Oteries, St. Anne, was recaptured on Thursday. Belnavis, who has been on the run since November of last year, was spotted in the Buckfield area by an off-duty police officer stationed in St. James. The police officer accosted Belnavis and called for backup. Belnavis was among 5 prisoners who escaped from the Bernardet Street police station in December 2024. 3 of the escapees were fatally shot by the police, while a 4th was recaptured after he was shot and wounded by the police. Big Tree charged with second murder in Manchester. A Manchester man who police have described as a hitman is to face the court in relation to a second murder charge. He is Nicholas Stewart, otherwise called Big Tree, a resident and farmer of Colleyville district in Manchester. The police on Friday charged Stewart for the August 8, 2024 murder of construction worker Nicholas Reed in Chively district near Spurtree. Stewart is accused of chasing Reed before shooting him multiple times at a construction site in Chively. He was arrested in April in the Christiana Market. Following his arrest, he was charged in relation to the August 2024 shooting death of a man in northern Manchester. He is also charged with conspiracy to murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and use in a crime to commit a felony. Police accused Stewart of killing Cleon Russell, 32, on Wednesday, August 28, 2024, about 4:30 p.m. at a line of parish district near the northeast Manchester, South Trelawney border. Police said Russell was at a shop along the line of Parish Main Road when a blue Toyota Mark X drove up and Stewart alighted from the car before pouncing on Russell. After a brief conversation, Stewart reportedly opened fire on the victim, who fell to the ground before more rounds were fired. Stewart reportedly walked away from the scene. The incident was captured on CCTV. Illegal gun found in soldier's possession linked to shooting in St. Elizabeth. A soldier who is charged with possession of a prohibited weapon could be facing more legal trouble after it was revealed in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court on Wednesday that the gun was involved in a shooting that is under investigation. Anthony Scarlett was remanded to return to court on June 6. The court was told that the ballistic report on the firearm seized from the Jamaica Defence Force member was involved in a shooting at Locovia in St. Elizabeth. Scarlett was held with the illegal gun on April 15 during a targeted operation in the community of Elim. His car was searched and the weapon found. Sandals donate 2 ambulances to Jamaica Fire Brigade. The Emergency Medical Services EMS arm of the Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB has been boosted by the donation of 2 ambulances by Sandals Resorts International. The ambulances are valued at $12 million. Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, made the announcement Wednesday during his contribution to the sectoral debate at Gordon House.
Today, I am pleased to announce to this Honourable that the Sandals Group have indicated in writing that they are donating 2 ambulances to the emergency service at a value of over $12 million to be located in the parishes of St. James and St. Anne, Madam Speaker, to aid the service. And I want to commend the Sandal Group, Madam Speaker. And the Ministry of Local Government will be making the necessary arrangements to provide 3 additional ambulances, Madam Speaker, to improve the service of the Jamaica Fire Brigade so that the emergency services across the country can be expanded to respond when there is a need, Madam Speaker.
Man found guilty of murder after changing 10 attorneys over 15 years. A man on a murder charge who changed attorneys 10 times since 2010 was last Wednesday found guilty by a jury and is to be sentenced next month end. The convicted man, Steve Dawkins, who had been out on bail for the better part of 15 years, was tried for the August 2010 murder of Derek Lord, a resident of Kirk Avenue in St Andrew. According to the evidence at the trial, which was presided over by Supreme Court Justice Caroline Typole in the Home Circuit Court, a neighbor of Lord heard shouts of "Murder! Murder! He ma kill me! Call the police!" about 8:35 p.m. on the evening in question and called the police. The neighbor, a retired district constable, stood guard at the premises until the police arrived. According to prosecutors, upon arrival, the police climbed over the fence to the front of the premises and went to the back of the house where they saw Dawkins running from inside the house. He was apprehended and when asked what he was doing there, replied that he was there to steal mangoes. The cops then searched the house and found the body of Lord with his hands bound with handcuffs, his mouth gagged with duct tape, and a stab wound to his neck. There was no sign of forced entry. The crime scene was processed and 2 spots of blood were found inside the house. They were sent to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine to be analyzed for DNA. A post-mortem determined that Lord's cause of death was asphyxia, secondary to choking, due to aspiration of blood caused by a stab wound to the neck. Dawkins was charged and indicted for the offense of murder. The Crown's case was based on circumstantial evidence. Of the 6 police witnesses, only 1 was still a serving member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force when the trial commenced on May 5. 1 witness, who now resides in London, United Kingdom, gave evidence via video link. The prosecution called a total of 8 witnesses to give evidence. The witnesses testified that contrary to what Dawkins said when he was arrested, that there were no mangoes on any of the trees, anywhere on the premises, or any blossom. This was corroborated by the photos taken by the forensic crime scene investigator, as the images show that at the time of the incident, the trees were bare. The DNA results revealed that one of the spots of blood had the same profile as Dawkins, and the other spot of blood had a mixed profile, which had all the components of Lord's and Dawkins' profile. According to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, in a statement issued to the media on Thursday, the DNA evidence at the scene was a critical factor in this trial. The presentation of this evidence by the forensic scientists underscores the importance of scientific evidence in criminal trials and the importance of the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paul Llewellyn, King's Counsel, said. The DPP was at pains to point out that the multiple changes of attorneys by Dawkins contributed to the inordinate delay of the trial. On all occasions that trial dates were set with the new defense attorneys, the Crown was always ready. Notwithstanding the passage of time, all Crown witnesses were available, and the Crown called 8 witnesses to give evidence at trial, Llewellyn said. Dawkins, who has been remanded, will be sentenced on June 26. Acting Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Jodian Edwards and Crown Counsel Anita Hall represented the prosecution. Dawkins was represented by attorneys Karen Wilson and Althea Freeman. JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.